Bam! What is up with the squad? It's your favorite auntie with Uncle Tendencies. Welcome to PoliSports Tea time with Political Lil, the realest sports and society crossover on the net. Brought to you by Cess Talk Sports and the Be Wise PoliSports podcast, y'all. Today, we diving into the heart of what really went down at this year's WNBA Draft, okay? Y'all had a night to kind of think it over and everything. Now we not just talking basketball. We're going to unpack the layers, the power plays, and the politics laced into every pick, every headline, and every future face of the league narrative, y'all. From the draft board to media coverage to the league's broader image strategy. This combo, it ain't surface level, y'all. And riding shotgun with me as always, my co-host who ain't gonna hold her tongue, Political Lil. Welcome in. Let's have this conversation. What's good, Lil?
All right, it's going on. I'm feeling different about the draft. I think last night was a lot of people, spazzing out, especially about the scat picks. But
oh yeah,
when you look back and you kind of wondering what the overall strategy is, you just have to go with the flow because no one knows what's going to happen.
Exactly. I see y'all in the chat. Jeremy was good. T. Peters, what's happening? Denise, what's good? Looking forward to hearing this POT. Wonder if it's some of the same things that pissed me off. We're going to find out. Dr. Ivy Girl, MJ, Groovy, what's good? Ghostasm, what's happening? No More Die, what's good? Why do they do them girls like that every year with the big first 12 or whoever it is they do all that publicity on? They just draft foreign players instead. Why not invite the foreign girls to all that jazz? Woo! Well, let's get into it. Because, listen, we're going to break open a topic it's going to raise some eyebrows. But, it's tea time, so let's get it. We're looking at the very real possibility, y'all, that the WNBA and maybe the NBA to a certain degree are strategically shifting the racial profile of the leagues, right? There's been a noticeable trend leaning toward white and European players. Some folks out here are calling it what it might be, a move to pull in a white male conservative audience that they feel like the WNBA especially has been missing. And we're not saying that talent don't matter. But when you start stacking patterns and analyzing who gets promoted and who doesn't, it raises the question, is this just basketball or is this branded politics at work, right? We're going to break down draft trends, analyze regional biases, and call out the coded media narrative around who gets propped up and who gets passed over. This ain't just about who can hoop. It's about who the league wants to market. And we want to hear from y'all, too. Y'all get in this chat and talk with us. As we dig into these numbers and narratives, we asking y'all, do you see a pattern emerging? Is there a deliberate shift happening in the league's image? Drop y'all thoughts in the chat. We locked in. Let's go. I'm opening it up right now, y'all. What were your first impressions of the changes we saw in this year's draft? Do you see a pattern of who got loved and who got left behind? I was surprised, before we get into everything, I was surprised at who didn't get picked. I was a little surprised at who didn't get picked, Lil. So
yeah.
that big that got dunked on did not get picked.
That was surprising. I didn't expect her to go in the first round, but
but I thought that TCU big was gonna get picked before the third round was up.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Kelly didn't get picked either.
Woo! But I told y'all she had turned back into a pumpkin. Yeah. Got dunked on, wasn't drafted.
And I wonder if that means that she's not gonna get a team, a tryout, or maybe a. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Diamond Johnson too. Diamond Johnson not getting drafted. I thought that was a snub. And I know they're gonna say. And the thing about Diamond Johnson is, I know that they're gonna say that it was height, but was it height or was it HBCU? I don't know. I don't know what kept Diamond out the league. If it was height 5'5", or if it was HBCU. And the only reason I say that is because Dyson Fair got drafted last year, right? And from what I understand, Dyson Fair could have stuck in the league if she'd had a little bit more defense. I don't think the Dyson Fair ever really got comfortable in Las Vegas either. So I absolutely hate that Deja didn't get drafted. I didn't see Deja getting drafted, y'all. I'm just going to be honest. Uspy didn't get drafted. It was HBCU. T. Peters, you think it was HBCU? Okay. But okay, we're gonna unpack these power moves that are shaping the future of the game. Lil, what is let's unpack it. The raw, real, and unfiltered PoliSports Tea on this one. Give it to us.
Well, let's start with round one. out of the 12 picks, something that kind of surprised me that it was 7 white players picked. That's 58% of the selection. And we know we're in a 70% black dominated league. So those numbers are kind of telling. It was only 5 players of black heritage, and one of them happened to be a foreigner. And then it was I really don't like that foreigners, not that they get selected, but that they have the option to not play. So you holding up a spot for somebody that could possibly, come in and play while you sit on the sidelines and stay in the country of your origin. But it's, I just historically, I black players kind of dominate these early selections, and that didn't happen this year, which was a little surprising. When I look at the second round, then you see the emergence of what I expected, and that was 8 American black players, being selected in the second round, which I kind of expected that to happen in the first round, and that's just me. Then you had a real drop off in the number of foreign players from the first round. It was only 2, the young lady from Mali and the young lady from Russia. And then you had 3 white players, and then you had 2 Native American players, which I thought was, something really different. So the second round looked a little more like what I expected the first round to look like. And then in the third round, you get less foreign players. You only had 2, and then you had the same number 3 white players, and then you had 6 African American players selected in that round. So in the last 2 rounds, 2 and 3, which have the least likely potential of making teams, you had 14 African American players, and so I was just like, oh my goodness, I'm looking at it from a political point of view. And is it the climate, or is it just that the WNBA has decided, we're moving in this direction? Maybe they feel it's going to bring more revenue, and so and it's really not. I mean, I just couldn't believe Sellers fell as far down. I was just shocked. And, she's not. I don't know. People like that, even the Carolina players, I was very surprised not one of them was taken in the first round. And you had, I'm like, you talking about people just removed from 4 appearances in the Final 4, several of which were championships, And so, I just see a trend, it's just a power structure trend. And the whole draft was really weird.
Let me say this too. I'm sorry, Lil. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off, but I see y'all in my chat talking about it's the knee injuries for Sellers. Stop the cat. Paige Becker sat out 700 days with bad knees. Get out of here with that. Don't do that. Don't y'all do that. When it's in your face, respect it and acknowledge it now. Paige, so y'all telling me y'all think Paige is more healthy than Sellers? Come on, man. Stop playing with me. Come on, talk. Let's have a real talk. If we're gonna have a real talk, let's have a real talk now. Stop playing around. Y'all gonna tell me Sellers didn't get picked because of injuries? And Paige Becker sat out 2 damn years? Come on now. Let's talk for real. Come on now. We here for the tea now. Y'all in the chat playing around. Y'all in the chat playing.
Think about this. You had 2 guards under 5'6" picked in the first round before Sellers, who was a 6'2" guard that could play 3 positions.
Come on, let's talk for real.
And she didn't play in no raggedy program either.
No.
Haley Van Lith went to Chicago, and you're not gonna tell me that wasn't politics, because it was no team gonna pick her up in the first round.
Exactly.
And then the fact that Chicago made a maneuver, gave up a swap to get her, because I think they had planned on getting that foreign player, but they sure had Chicago food on every news channel. They was talking about they was picking up
Chicago was
Fagan.
crazy. Everybody thought Chicago was getting HBL and Sanaya Fagan, right?
Yes, that they told her 2 hours before the draft. They interviewed Fagan at the draft. One of our new, the news person from Chicago. And that was the rumor that was going around. Then when they passed up, I was like, oh my Lord. So then I said, well, maybe they're going to get a, because I did think they was going to pick Sellers at 10 and, pick Fagan up at 11. And then when they went all the way left with that, I was like, oh, okay. I see, I see what Jeff doing. Jeff looking at some marketing. I mean, Haley Van Lith is she's a Marilyn Monroe. She can be marketed in Chicago, and so I think he trying to, because we have a large fan base there that's black female.
Now you're in Chicago, right?
Yes.
How much of HBL being in Chicago is about Angel wanting HBL in Chicago? How much of that is just Angel wanted HBL in Chicago?
I would say 100%. I would say 100% because Angel is a marketing genius, and to be respected in that aspect. So she had to have convinced Jeff that we don't have Dana Evans, we could bring in her. They almost play the same type of style. You understand what I'm saying? But you'll get more marketing run out of her if your goal is to bring in conservatives from Chicago. Chicago is a huge sports market, and we on the south end. They got the stadium on the south side of Chicago, and so if you talking about bringing that Wrigley Field crowd and even the White Sox Park crowd from the west, then she's an attractive option.
Absolutely.
From that standpoint. But on the downside, I was so intrigued by the fact that her and Reese playing together at LSU was such a disaster, as to think, why would you invite disaster again?
Because it didn't work. It didn't work. But that was because I think it was more Kim than HBL. I think it was more Kim in the way they used Kim. I think Angel and HBL had a good relationship. Angel has tweeted out about HBL along a few times in the season, right? So I think you hit the nail on the head about marketing. She definitely brings a different group of consumers to the arena. You want to be as diverse as you can. HBO is a great pickup for the overall brand there. And if she can fit in with Angel, she's SEC tough. We know that because she played a year there. Camilla's familiar with her. She's played on the US on the USA basketball stage. So I think HVL is in Chicago about Angel. But what I thought was interesting is that, and let's talk about Sifka. This player hasn't even agreed to come to the U.S. So I thought that was odd. Chicago drafted Sifka, right? Am I saying the name right?
Right.
They haven't even agreed to come to the U.S. So I think that I thought that it was weird that you would use up a draft pick on a player that high that hasn't even agreed to come to the U.S. That was a little weird for me. As far as like WNBA, NBA, we know from the time of David Stern, rest in peace. It was always about going global with the NBA. It was always about going to Europe. It was always about bringing those players over, having teams over in Europe, being an international, global type of brand, right? Market. Is that what the WNBA wants? Does the WNBA also want to be this international, this international brand? I guess. And I asked that because like I saw a post today, and I think it was Groovy that shared it. Thank you. Fans who bought tickets for that Golden State, for some of the Golden State games. So the Valks have, I think now, most of their players are like 7 players are European citizenship at the Valks. Those 7 players are going to go home between June 18th and June 29th to play in the Eurobasket.
What?
During that time, the Valks got a 5-game homestand, 5 home games from June 18th to June 29th, where 7 of their major players won't even be there. So I'm interested to see how they fill these players in. Is it going to be 10-day contracts? Because 7 players off your roster, I mean, you got to go get some 10-day contracts. You got to bring these players in. They got to come in. They have to play. What does that mean for your fan base? Is this the balance of the international play and the WNBA play? To me, is a little harder to do with the WNBA season because it kind of runs at the same time as some of these other international leagues, right? Whereas it seems like the international leagues are when the NBA is kind of in a dead period. So I'm just interested to see these teams that are bringing in so many international players, especially people with players of European citizenship. How are we going to balance this? And then who am I supposed to come just play for 10 days now? Because you went out there and got this international player? Am I supposed to use that as an opportunity to audition for the league? Like, y'all talk to me. What do you think about that? Like, I thought that was the weirdest thing. You went out and got 7 players, and then they all need to be off from June 18th to the 29th. Like, I didn't understand.
Yeah, I think that's going to have to be resolved in the CBA, the new CBA. It has got to be a way, because of them playing at the time they do. They need to have like a supplemental draft for foreign players. A pool of players, that have their own obligations, and then just let these it's our league, and we shouldn't have to dance to nobody else's music. If you're not available for the season, then because of other obligations, then you shouldn't be playing in the first half, the middle, or the end. You just shouldn't play, until you are 100% available to play, especially when it's not an Olympic. It's not an Olympic year where we having the same dilemma as these foreign teams. And then I just think of all the slots that these young women that's playing in our college leagues are missing out on, as a result of the way these things are being set up. And I'm another thing, and I'm looking at the geopolitical situation. You chasing this European market, and they over there about to either go to war or the whole market about to fall apart. They not over there flowing in the land of milk and honey. You might want to run and get some Asian players. They balling over in China. But I just don't understand that. I think it's just psychologically they feel that they gotta have a presence of this European scenario, in order to attract the audience that they obviously are now targeting. I guess they know a recession is coming. They must know our people over here not going to be able to come to an elitist sport, because sports is becoming an elitist, unaffordable. They about to price the average working person out the market. You can't even afford to go to a game and pay $20 for a hot dog. I'm still on that one, but so.
Well, I mean, and when you say that you can't pay for a hot dog, I get it, because I get where you're coming from, because when the league first was introduced, it was the affordable option to the NBA, an opportunity to see some great basketball, bring your family out, right? And understand, we don't have an issue with anybody having 2 jobs, however many jobs they want to have. We don't care how many leagues people play in. That's not what we're saying here. What I'm talking about specifically is, like I just said, you got 7 players that took a job on day 1, and then they need all 7 of them need 11 days off in the first month that they at work. That's what I'm talking about, and them taking up prime spots on a new team in this league, right? So people went to work and they spent their money to be able to to take a trip to come to see the Golden State Valkyries, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then as long as you don't come, it's gonna be the substitutes from the 18th to the 29th. Now, what I'm supposed to do if I bought my ticket before that to see some of these players?
Yeah.
It's just about it's just about the transparency of it all. Now we see $200 to sit in the nosebleeds, $500 to sit courtside. You used to get in a WNBA game for about $26.
Yeah, I remember them days.
And come down, and the players would come down on the court before the game, and you could take pictures with them and get autographs. And that was just included with you just being at the game early. They would come up and sign autographs after the game. You could line up. It was a totally different experience. And I don't have any problem with the game growing. I don't have any problem with the league evolving. I just want to understand where is it going. I said it last year. I couldn't believe how many international players took up spots in the first round that were not coming to play until after the Olympics. But we have American-born players that go over to play overseas in the WNBA. Tell them if you don't be back by a certain time, you'll lose your job.
Mm-hmm.
But now these players can get drafted and take 12 days off, however many days that is off, with no consequence. Like, what are we saying? And then we were talking about the fact that these players could come over and participate and start making money in this league at 19. They can go into the draft if they're internationally born players.
Yeah, that's another thing that you holding back your own people. Putting them in a box. They can't come into the league until they 22. But then you let somebody that's and then you got to go through the whole college scenario.
Exactly. They want you to not only be 22, but have a degree and ask your mama and see if your daddy said yeah, and check her with the babysitter. There's a whole lot of stuff a United States born player has to do to be able to get in this league. Whatever way it's gonna be, let's just make it consistent all the way around. That's all I'm saying. The real question is when Chicago plays Indiana, will HVL be guarded CC? Won't be anywhere near her. Not at all. No, not at all.
I don't think
no.
Haley Van Lith is going to start.
I don't expect her to start.
Yeah, I don't see her starting because you got the young lady Atkins, and she's quite a star on defense. That's who will be entertaining CC for those who want to know. Because Van Loof, she can't Van Sloof. I mean, she can't stick her. So I don't expect them to put anybody but Ariel Atkins on that assignment.
If American-born players want to get in the league early, just go get citizenship in Europe. They come in 1920. Boom. There's a lot to have to do. I mean,
why I got to do all that? This is my.
I'm not saying it ain't worth workarounds, but why I got to do all that?
And they ain't got to do it. I bet you they address that in the CBA.
I wonder if they will. So for the Chicago Sky fans and those of y'all that are in Chicago, let's talk about it. Jeff P passed on Sellers. He needs to be fired. How are y'all feeling?
I was shocked that he didn't get one of the big guards. Not necessarily Sellers, but there was also Sundale.
How did the media get it so wrong?
No, he put it out there. He said
I'm like, oh, okay, Fago gonna be in Chicago with Miller and Angel. I'm looking forward to it. And then it was like, what happened? Although I am happy about where Sanaya Fagan ended up. Like, I like Fagan with Rakia. I like Fagan in LA. I like Fagan having an opportunity to play, especially since y'all were right and Hambry is with child. So there's that. Fagan should get some playing time. So okay, and then the other thing too is if you're Tyler Marsh, how the hell do you feel?
Well, he looked like he felt like he was gonna go along with whatever Jeff was putting out. Jeff got his chest poked out. He think he done won the draft. Hear him tell it. And so
he couldn't believe that. He couldn't. Come on.
That's the way he acting. He acted like he made the best. He acted like he made a Angel Reese Camilla move with these draft picks he got. He got two young ladies that have substantial injuries. The young lady from Texas A&M, she got a fresh injury, so can't count her out.
You talking about is that Koulibaly? Did he take Koulibaly?
Yeah, he
Okay,
did.
Koulibaly.
And then the other young lady he took from Notre Dame. To me, that was a marketing ploy. Notre Dame is right down the street from Chicago, so that's a regional thing. That I and then I guess he's gonna use her if the other young lady decide, because she was on the next thing smoking back to Europe, I understand. But if she decides, well, I'm gonna stay. I don't know if she's going back to talk to whoever, because
now she got drafted by Chicago and went home.
And they said she was on the next. She was at LaGuardia Airport for the broadcast ended. And so that's probably why he got the other lady, Maddie.
Okay, Maddie Westbell.
Yeah, from Notre Dame. Yeah, so I don't know.
I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember some of these picks. Maddie Westbell went to Chicago.
Yeah,
I wasn't paying attention.
In the place of I think she went in the second.
Ain't no way in the world.
Round, unbelievable.
Ain't no way in the world Maddie Westbell is a better player than Shania Fagan.
Let me tell you something. I didn't feel that the draft was based on your skill set nor your accomplishment. Because how does Anissa Morrow fall to 7? You gonna tell me
I don't think it was
six better players than her?
But I don't think it was. I don't think. But here's the thing, y'all, and I know we differ here. Fagan has a deeper bag than Morrow to me. So I would have took Fagan over Morrow and over Iriafen. And I get it. The draft isn't necessary. I get it. The draft isn't about skill set. It's not about team accomplishments. I get that. It's about fit. But man, these picks that y'all made don't fit.
Yeah.
Some of these picks don't fit. Sky said they wanted tall vets. Jeff said that after he fired Teaspoon. Tall vets.
Yeah, he said he wanted a tall guard, 6'2". He almost described Seller. So when people saying, well, it might not be Seller, everybody came up with Sundale. And I said, I even went back, started checking out her tape, and I said, oh yeah, she'll fit in well. She could see over the defense, this, that, and the other. But then he go get somebody that can't see nothing but people kneecaps. And I still don't know. She not dangerous off the pick, so I don't know where she's gonna fit in. But they say she's gonna play point.
You gotta explain this to me. I don't think Angel's ever worried about nobody outshining her. Angel is her own spotlight. I don't think she's worried about nobody outshining her. Angel wants to win at this point. Everything else is lined up for Angel. What she's waiting for now is the opportunity to be able to compete at the highest level possible. I don't think that she has anything. I don't think that she's worried about that. And I'm not Ghostasm, I'm not here to get in a back and forth with you about Iriafen over Fagan. If you want to know my opinion on Fagan and why I said I would take her over Iriafen, I said it on like 4 of the shows. Check it out. I'm not going back into that right now. If Morrow survived practicing in a rec center, she could be a contender for Rookie of the Year. I don't think that she's gonna have a shot at Rookie of the Year this year, y'all. You think it was about embarrassing Dawn? Dawn didn't look embarrassed at all. Matter of fact, I think most of them knew who was looking at them and where they was pretty much going before they got there. The one who looked like they was really shocked to me was Sellers.
She was floored. You see she had on the blue outfit. She had on sky colors.
Y'all thought I was joking. Was Sellers that relief that Sellers said she felt? I'm telling you, looked like she had already spent some of her WNBA money. That was shocking.
I mean, she had on the blue suit, the sky colors. I was like, oh, they must have told her she going to the sky.
Oh yeah, Indiana got a great steal with Bree Hall. I agree.
Yeah, Bree Hall in Indiana defender.
I hate it's Indiana, but it'll work for Bree.
Mm-hmm. And then I like that Boston got somebody, she was teammates with.
Yeah, yeah. Why would this embarrass Dawn? It's not Dawn's fault. Sky front office is whack. It did like Dawn's feelings didn't seem hurt. You know what I mean? Like I just felt like this is we prepare for all of this. They had Sellers about to put her hands on her knees in there. Did you see her? Yes. Pressure.
Right, and then you get invited, and then you don't get selected. Whew. You came New York going through the thing.
You think Timpson is the real steal? I don't know if it's many people that walked away from the draft feeling like, man, Timpson was a real steal of the draft, Wody, but I'll let you have it. Jeff passed on the top 5 player for Maddie. He did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Bree has a legitimate shot of making the team. Sellers could have gone higher. I think for Sarah Ashley, it worked out real well for her. Took up with Rakia and Cam when she comes back. Yeah.
Sarah landed in a good spot. Other young lady got picked too. Nairi that played with the girl from Alabama. Now she went higher than I thought. Barker.
Somebody confirm. Was Deja Kelly in the building? I thought Deja Kelly showed up.
I don't know if she showed up. She wasn't one of the 16 invited.
You said Fagan looked disappointed to be going to the Spark. She had a look. I don't know. I had to go back and look. At the end of the day, I think it's just about. You said she was. Fagan was disappointed, or Deja was there. You think Timpson was a good pickup too? Yeah, I don't.
Hold on 1 minute, Seth.
No, go ahead. Deja Kelly was there, right? I think so. Why, fam? Why what, John? What happened? She was there. Okay. She was there dressed. What is the real reason you guys think Sellers didn't go higher? We already said that. We started the show with why. I don't know. Maybe you asked it in the chat. They're changing the look of the league. Deja Kelly did show up. Thank you. She was mad to drop because she was better than most of the players. Yeah. You feel like that big that got dunked on? I don't even say her name over here. Got jerked too. Off court behavior matters. Off court behavior matters. Y'all gonna stop telling me that girl didn't get picked because of a leg injury, and Paige Becker's got Kim Mulkey knees and went first. Stop it.
I'm back, and not only that, she
now her physical, her not passing the physical is something totally different. I haven't heard nothing about her not passing the physical. What does it mean her physical wasn't good? Either you pass the physical or you don't.
Now, didn't she play in she played in the playoffs, didn't she? The NCAA tournament. She played in all of the games.
Yeah. She do got Kim Mulkey knees. Y'all see how Kim dropped down? Y'all see how Kim dropped down on them knees? How many years y'all think Kim been dropping down on them knees like that? They don't creak, nothing. She don't rock. When she get up, she bounce up and down.
She got them back catching knees.
Yeah. When Paige went to the hospital, they said, which kind you want? Diamond, platinum, Mulkey? Mulkey! I need the Mulkey knees, bro. Okay. All right, y'all think I'm joking, bro. Straight Mulkey knees. Straight Mulkey knees. The Sellers was wild.
That was really surprising.
So if you're the Chicago Sky players, when y'all all come together, are you looking around the locker room excited and confident about what you finna go to war with? CS, you've been missing. Me and Political Lil been doing a show. You gotta catch up with us. Go back. Me and Political Lil been doing the show for a few months now. You gotta catch up with us, CS. Yeah, it's a real steal. Not Sellers had such a great career. Don't let her keep going. Why did they pick Koulibaly? Whew.
I mean, she's a good player. Don't get me wrong, but she has a fresh knee injury. This is something that happened to her in February. So there's no way, she's going to be able to do anything but come to the games. She's not going to be able to participate until 2026.
I look at Koulibaly like Kitley. Like, but I don't look at Koulibaly and go, man, y'all should have got Deja Kelly.
Oh no, I'm not saying that.
I don't know how you see that, Natural Kelly. Natural Girl. Kelly, how? Dang, you said hell no. Sky Doom. He gotta go. Okay. Sheesh. Sky still got Cardoso, Angel in the paint, solid foundation. Not blaming it on the knees, just thinking on it. No, I got you. You got to see who make the team. Okay, See, Africa Rising. Let's talk about it. Who's not gonna make the Sky roster? Who do y'all think not gonna make the Sky roster? Yeah, holder rights like Kitley. Sifka can be a good stretch shooter, playmaker, stash pick. There's always a chance the GMs have a different view and players will drop. You can make a case for Saab to go top 3. I couldn't make a case, but you probably could.
I think they only got. I don't think. I think Chicago only got 14 players. We know that 2 of them. One may not be coming, and then Maddie, and you got the. I don't know how to say the young lady's name, so I don't want to say her name.
Who's that? Sifka?
Yeah, she until we find out whether she's coming or not to be even, to even compete for a slot. Haley Van Lith will be on the team. No question about that. And then everybody else is either contractually set. I don't know if I'm trying to think. I think they may have a camp invite. I'm not sure.
You say Mariah Jefferson ain't gonna make the squad. Wow.
No, I think they're gonna get rid of Jefferson and the other young lady that came in with her.
Okay, wait. Mo and Rachel are guaranteed though. They can't go anywhere, so they would have to
trade
them. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think HVL makes the team.
Oh, no doubt.
Rachel Banham, and AG, that's what I call her because I don't know her last name. I have is not making it. So you got Banham not making the team, even though she was on the team last year? Let me know. Okay. You say Mojo is going buyout. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all expect Mojo to get picked up somewhere else? This guy has 17 players on the training camp roster, and he said he want more players. That's wild. That's what I was thinking. Mo, Jeff, and Ben are under contract. You have to trade them.
Yeah, and then I think Michaela is under contract.
Yeah, these players that's under contract, I don't think that they can just be like y'all out.
No, I don't think they can be. And then I think because they were part of a trade, it would be hard to get rid of those 2 that came from Connecticut. Maybe them 3, because I believe they got another young lady from Connecticut too.
Sanaya from your town, Wilmington, North Carolina. Okay, Sanaya. Let's talk a little bit about the differences between the South Carolina players getting picked and the UConn players getting picked.
Well, the first thing was the entire UConn team was evidently invited to view the draft. I don't recall South Carolina entire team being at the draft last year unless I wasn't looking at it. So they definitely get some special treatment. And then you had Dawn Stanley go 38-0, and ESPN wasn't interested in interviewing her at the draft. But they had Gino talking about the game. I thought that was a little institutional favoritism. I didn't like that they didn't want to get her thoughts, but they thought to get his thoughts, on how basketball is going.
You know, the thing that killed me is Dawn is the only coach responsible for whether or not her players make it in the WNBA. She's the only one. Only college coach responsible for she didn't get them ready
Mm-hmm.
after they get drafted to another team. I don't hear them say that about any of these other players that get drafted and don't get playing time or any of that. They interviewed Dawn at the draft last year. Got to check the numbers. They invited them because they are majority white. I mean, Gino's a made man. They was the champs.
You know, a political strategy.
The Sanaya Rivers getting picked before Breed, Powell, and Fago mean that Dawn's system doesn't work for everybody. No, I don't think that they were drafted system. I think that there are teams that have shown themselves as liking Dawn players, like the Indiana Fever, who continuously, pick Gamecocks. So there are teams that lean towards Dawn's players, but I don't think that it's a reflection on Dawn. Where players get drafted, it's about fit. And then I guess how they go and work out for those players. They talk to these teams and all of that. Dawn, but this year Dawn wasn't the defendant. This year Dawn wasn't the defending champ. She wasn't the national champ, so they should have been talking to Gino. The interview should have been with Gino. He's the champ. Yeah, it's a lot of racism. I'm sick of the racism too. But y'all can see by the way you kind of even just been covered since the championship. The difference in the appreciation of them being champs versus Dawn and the South Carolina Gamecocks being champs. They've been on Good Morning America, Late Night with Jimmy Kimmel,
all at the concert.
Yeah, at the concert. This has been a continuous coverage of them. Yeah.
And then all of them showing up at the draft. I mean, that's a new one.
But then ESPN headquarters is in Connecticut, so there's definitely a UConn bias. I get it. They probably got a lot of UConn graduates at ESPN too. Dawn's players are disciplined. I'm happy for them. I expect them all to make. I expect them all to make the rosters that they were drafted to. I wish that they would have went higher. And I think I would love for them to all be able to say that they was first round picks. But then when I looked at it and it was like, yo, I think. Let me see how I want to say it. I just say we'll prove our worth. That's what I say. We'll prove our worth. Last year was Clark's year. It overshadowed SC. I don't think that Clark overshadowed SC last year at the draft. We only had one player in the draft. She went top 5.
Mm-hmm.
All the ladies looked good last night for the most part. It was a couple of them looked like they was auditioning for BAPS because their outfits was a little too big. For the most part,
Marilyn Monroe and Kiki, they were some knockouts. They really looked great. Fagan was so surprised, and I just was not expecting.
Y'all remember Fago? Now what if Fago wear the red dress to the SBC? We had already seen them dressed up at the SB, so I already knew what to expect. But yeah, a couple of them had on some BAPS outfits. A couple of them, it was like, oh, you should have got that tailored. Who didn't look that great was the panel. Andrea Carter, I didn't like her suit. Did somebody say she had wore that before? So I didn't like that. And then Rebecca Lobo, her hairstyle. I don't know. There's a few things that just threw me off. Kiki looked really good. What do you want to talk about the Mystics? I know people. It was a mixed response on Morrow. Morrow looked very
She had on that black leather. She looked at Chi-Town. No doubt.
That's what I was just about to say. She looked very Chi-Town. Now somebody
Yeah.
said that she looked like the female Blade. I don't know. But she looked like Chi-Town.
Yeah.
She looked that was the who looked like Baps. James and Rivers. They outfits to me just was like, I don't know.
The one with the red hair. Oh my God. She looked crazy.
And it seemed like she wasn't even gonna wear her red hair because they said it's a video where she said to Raquel, well, you were supposed to give me a wig, and Raquel like, why you put my business out there? So I don't know. I don't know. But you know what tell you who really looked crazy as hell? Holly Rowe. Her torso wasn't long enough for the outfit that she had on. It just
she looked a mess. She looked a mess.
And that color just wasn't it was giving. I didn't. I'm glad that Tahina and Bree stayed home. I guess Fago wanted to be at the draft, so if that's where she wanted to be, I'm glad she was there. Tahina looked like she was having her party. Looked like it was lit.
They had to tell them to be quiet. They had to cut the mic.
Bree Hall looked like she had a good time at the crib. Yeah, all of them look good. Some of them will make some different choices next time. That's all. That's all. But you got a chance to definitely see their personalities though. Deja Kelly and others wasn't picked HBCU players. I don't know what you saying there. What do I think about Pow Pow to the Dream? So Pow Pow went to Fagan's home, and Fagan went to Pow Pow's home. So Pow Pow gonna be on the floor with Alicia Gray. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I thought LA would pick up Pow Pow. I was kind of surprised,
The outfit Westbrook made for George. Yeah, I didn't. So I kept seeing the flash on Westbrook, but I kept missing what outfit he had dressed people in. I didn't. So it was Georgia Amore. Okay, I'll go back and look. Okay. LA just got Plum. Kelsey Plum had been going there. Roby looking a mess. And, Holly Rowe just wasn't. It was just an off day for the fashion on the panel, and they usually look really, they be on it.
Snappy.
They be on it. It was a no. It was a no. Everything just looked rushed. It just looked. I don't know what happened.
And then the draft just was different. It had a different.
That's what I'm about to say. The draft itself was just kind of
bland. It was.
Could have been an email. Just put out the list. They could just put out the list. Okay, you didn't like the fit for Georgia Amore. Okay, he only dressed Amore. Okay, thank you. It looked quickly put together. Tahina stayed home for family medical issue. We don't. Well, okay.
Have they said anything about the numbers?
As far as like viewership, I haven't heard none of viewership yet.
Yeah, I'd be curious to find out. I was excited about the draft, but I didn't notice it being as pushed and promoted, which I thought was odd because Paige has that marketability, and I thought it would be a little more flair. And one thing I didn't like was let's talk about this commercial.
Okay, let's talk about it.
That they did where they had players, I guess, that made teams from last year's draft.
Yeah. Somebody hit my door. I'll be right back, yo. Okay. Go ahead.
They had the players from last year's draft in a commercial actually playing. I guess it was highlights and stuff like that. Then they flashed over to when Angel came in the commercial. She was in an outfit from last draft, and I just trying to figure out what was the message behind her being positioned like that, and why was it done? Were they trying to signify that she wasn't important, or that she was maybe looking to go in another direction. You know, I just thought it was very interesting to kind of see that, and I'll talk that over with Cess when she get back. I just thought, you know, there was a that commercial with Reese appearing in her outfit from the last draft, and the other players being presented as ball players. I'm trying to figure out what's the media representation meaning, you know, on that particular presentation, you know, leading up to the draft. What you think about that?
So I missed the commercial, but I heard people talking about it. I missed the commercial, but I heard people talking about it, and I was trying to figure out where they symbol was it supposed. I need to find the commercial because I was trying to figure out, was it like her coming in, like you could be next into playing the game. I would have to see the commercial. What was the commercial for? Was it just for the draft? What was it? What was it for? Do y'all remember? Y'all let me know. Where's the draft next year?
Well, they had the draft this year. It was certainly a larger venue. Appeared to be
Somebody said, was it at the New York Library? It was very library-ish in there. It was very nobody was loud, like, yeah. Nobody just, I don't want to go to the draft. I thought I wanted to go next year or the year after that. I don't want to go. It didn't look fun. It didn't look fun.
It looked very stressed.
It was promoting the draft. It was weird. I think they just needed to throw something in. But the WNBA should be at a point now where it's not just throwing nothing in. Nothing should just be thrown together. Y'all been around for 28 years. Okay? The Unrivaled been around for 28 minutes. And they did a much better job overall of presenting their product. And so, and I think what I'm disappointed about in the draft this year is not only that it went down from what it was last year, was that the WNBA had such great momentum going into the draft last year, and they were that carried them into the season, that I wanted to really see, what did you learn from last year? This was their first chance to show us what they learned from last year. And it's like they regressed. I don't think the Spear got drafted. Unrivaled has given players all the leverage. Okay.
Well, now the WNBA says that they have...
It's located at the Shed near the Javits Convention Center in Manhattan.
They're supposed to have a marketing
Was that different from last year?
Yeah, last year it was in a smaller venue. I'm trying to think of this, Radio City. Can't remember, but I do remember it was a smaller venue.
I don't know. I was expecting to see like more engagement with the players afterwards. Last year was at the BAM Theater near the Barclays. Thank you, James. With no balcony in last year's venue. Well, it seemed like it. Yeah, it was the 24 draft was lit.
It was nice.
It was lit.
I recorded it and played it over. And this time I just erased it.
I was like, I don't want to see that no more.
I was like, nah,
I'm not doing my DVR.
Doing a double take on that one. You know, it was just I didn't like the player selection. You know, that draft is some of the big names, the big college names, it just kind of threw you off that they didn't.
Somebody else hosted the draft last year too. Wasn't it somebody else? It wasn't Andrea and them last year. Wasn't it somebody else there last year? Yeah, they promoted the draft way more than this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lil erased it. She was like, yeah, not on my DVR. I still have most of last night's, but it probably will get it right. You too? Okay. Looking at the messages on the subway, I thought the setup was nice. It was the same crew. Seemed like it was more energy last year.
Yeah, that's another thing. It seemed like it was more energy, and I don't recall whether some of the old legends was in the building. I don't I don't remember anybody special.
Exactly. It was L in the crew last year. That's what I thought. L and Chennai then, wasn't it? Yeah, BAM Theater was a better location. I don't know what the hell was going on at the BAM Theater this year, but they should try to get it booked for next year. If they're gonna keep this thing in New York, they need to book it now. Uh let's get more red carpet action. Let's get more. I don't know. I would have liked to see some short little stories or something about
Yeah,
the
the
players going up.
storyline. Yeah, that would have been
Candace
nice.
Parker was in the building. The BAM was booked. Yeah, they need to get on the list right now. They need to try to get on the list for the BAM because by the shed ain't working. It ain't working. That is not working. Um, do y'all think that the focus for let's talk a little bit? Yeah, less excitement, kind of boring. Do y'all think it's too much focus on off court presentation over the on court performance for certain players? Does that undermine their achievements? Do y'all think? Oh, let me see. It felt flat, but the middle market picks were a bit stronger in 2024. They did a piece on Tarasi and they had 360 cam with the ladies in the dresses. Okay. Getting Seller's name wrong on a red carpet interview. Oh gosh.
Mm.
Okay, you turned the channel. The only storyline was Paige. Okay. So, okay.
How'd y'all like Paige outfit? She took the little braids off.
So at first I was like, okay, I like Paige last year better, but then they said that Paige looked like she about to go give a eulogy or something last year. So
no, she looked way better last year to me.
I thought the all white was better. They said no, she was better this year. But they said Paige had a wardrobe change that I missed. I was asking, does the focus of on the off court presentation over on court performance for certain players, does it undermine their achievements? And everybody was saying, yeah, you didn't like it. Okay, it looked like they called unrivaled team at the last minute to help them. Here y'all go. Here y'all go. Paige was giving player Paige. Okay. Oh gosh. Oh my goodness. What are y'all looking forward to most now that the draft is finished? What are y'all looking forward to as we get ready to start the dub season going into May? What are you looking forward to the most now? Or who do you want to see the most on the floor now? Not Paige was presentable. God, dog, Uncle J.E. That ain't good or bad. It's just presentable. It'll pass. God, dog.
I tell you who I'm looking most forward to is Atlanta, Seattle. I want to see what them teams shaped out, and Dallas. I want to see what the Sparks gonna do.
I'm interested in the Sparks. To me, Atlanta got too old. Like Rob was talking about last night. Like this BG threw the whole thing off for me in Atlanta. So we gotta Pow and BG. We're gonna figure that out. Seattle, who makes the team there is still clunky. Dallas, who makes the team there, that's clunky.
They got a lot of people.
The Sparks I'm excited about. I'm really excited with how early Cam Brink is gonna be available. Like that's what I want to know. How soon is Cam Brink gonna get in the mix down there? You look forward to Dominique Malonga and how he use her. Already ordered her jersey. Let's go. Okay, the wings in the sky. I don't. The sky. I'm not. I don't know. I'm excited about Camilla and Angel.
Yeah,
and I definitely be keeping an eye on the sky. Do y'all have the sky finish it better than they finished last year?
No, I don't. And I don't think they'll win. I think they'll win 2 or 3 more games than they won last year. But then I will change my mind once I really see that roster.
Okay.
But
see, I think that Camilla and Angel are going to be way better than they were. But I don't know if Chicago as a team is going to be better. I think that in a sense they're going to be starting all over again, right? So they're not going to really have a whole lot of chemistry from last year to build on. Like they're going to be kind of like allow me to reintroduce myself.
Then they're doing a whole new system and all that.
Whole new system. You got to see what Coach Marsh is going to do. So I don't know if I really, well, I mean, to me, the only reason that the Chicago Sky weren't in the playoffs last year is because of the injuries. To me, the Sky make the playoffs last year. If Reese doesn't hurt the wrist and Kennedy doesn't get sick, I think Chicago's gonna be middle of the pack. Okay. So at this point, with the draft over and all the stuff that we've seen go on, does anybody expect to see Kennedy Carter in the WNBA at the beginning of the season? Let me know. They say Cam is back mid-June. That's good.
I don't expect to see her at the beginning, but I think she's gonna, maybe come and get on a team, that has an injury or something like that.
Yeah, I think, and that's what I was thinking. It was looking like, dang, they're not gonna pick Kennedy up till they feel like maybe they need a scorer or something. But I ain't gonna front. I wanted to see Kennedy back with Chicago. So I ain't gonna hold you up. I expect the Kennedy to be a Chicago Sky player. Kennedy not being picked up, it's not only sad, it's confusing. I mean, it's confusing to me because she was hooping over here, and then she went to China and just showed out. So, for all of them international players that y'all ran over there and got, how y'all didn't see Kennedy when y'all was over there looking? Y'all didn't see Kennedy over there hooping, getting dropped off in the limo, dropping triple dubs on folks?
I mean, I just don't know what she could have done.
Okay, here's the thing: are you saying that she's blackballed? Are you saying that she's blackballed because of the hip check on Caitlin? Because you can't let her back into the league last year, let her perform the way that she did, and then blackball her again for something that she did not last year, but remember that one time. You can't blackball nobody for remember that one time after you already let them back in. That's some real bullshit right there. Now come on.
Yeah.
We let you back in. You ain't messed up no more. But you know what? We changed our mind. Whack.
Yeah, you hip check a hero.
Shoot, that's lame. So at the end of the day, Allen, Dana, HVL, Kennedy's better than all of them. I would say so. I don't know. No, it's because she's a cancer in the locker room is what they would say. Top scorer in China this year before also. Another thing too. Tell me, did they say she was a cancer in China? We can see how it was a press thing on how HVL being pushed already as an 11th pick. The big that can't stop slapping people didn't get drafted, but no one has picked up Carter either. What are they trying to say?
Yeah.
So okay, well let's have that conversation. So you feel like Teaspoon was the only reason that Kennedy was back in the league? That's a hot take.
Yeah.
Yeah, there will be a 7-game finals format. Will be interesting. First 3 games will get a rating. If it's a 2-2 after game 4, the viewer numbers will be decent. It'll be tricky. We'll see.
And they are going to a 7-game format for the finals. Isn't that correct?
That's what they're saying. And then you saying there's some talk that she wasn't really sick last year. Who? Kennedy wasn't sick when she was sending us them pictures from the hospital?
Well, I don't know, because I understand she was being held out per league protocol. So she had something, that was keeping her from playing.
The brightening of the Chicago Sky equals draft picks. I ain't got time for you.
But
that's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it. The brightening.
I call it the lightning, but right, the brightening.
The brightening and the lightning.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If it's about the hip check, I'm out on that. That's basketball. Jeffrey, what's good? Oh man, yeah, you have a happy Easter as well.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm excited to hear who else Dawn has picked up in the portal too. I think Kennedy should be on the team unless y'all saying that they say that she's a problem in the locker room. I haven't seen that nowhere. What rules did the Aces break? The Aces didn't get to pick because of the Hamby situation. Is that right?
Yeah.
So if they're not mad at Kennedy about CC, what in the hell are they mad with Kennedy about?
I mean, it has to be something that Jeff has put out.
And Bella, Sasha, you saying that Carter fell apart after Angel made the All-Star, then was chosen for Unrivaled. Please drop some receipts for that, because Kennedy also got chosen for Unrivaled, but missed the time to respond. So help me understand the fallout on that part, the falling apart on that one. Because Kennedy
that was her
manager's
fault, wasn't it?
Yeah, if her managers had responded to the request for her to play, Kennedy would have been in Unrivaled. Our people missed the memo on that one. So please help me with the receipts for what you talking about. They say MJ was in there punching people, but never heard nobody say kick him out the league. I mean, shit, Steve Kerr fired on MJ. Let's not act like anybody that play basketball on the team know that fights happen. Okay, let's come on. Stop.
Ain't no perfect locker room.
No perfect locker room. Every locker room have a come to Jesus meeting. Sometimes it's with fists, sometimes it's just words. Sometimes you just close the door and see what happens. But that happens in every locker room. Stop it, y'all. The domestic case big wasn't good enough to overcome the charges like Joe Mixon.
Well, she hasn't been charged with nothing, my understanding. Prince hasn't been charged with anything.
Breaking news: 6'2" Amaya Joyner, a junior, committed to LSU from East Carolina. Okay, Kim picking some stuff up.
East Carolina.
Okay, so they got mad at Carter for kicking garbage cans. MJ
kicking garbage cans. She didn't kick nobody, did she?
Oh man. Kurt Miller paid her to go away when she was with LA. I can't talk about. I don't want to hear anything about what Kennedy did before Chicago. She was back in the league at Chicago. So whatever that was before that, she served her time and got back in the league. So y'all got to give me some new charges on why she out the league now.
She need a new jacket.
Yeah, y'all got to give me some new charges on that. But the garbage can ain't pressing charges. Why they tripping? Okay. Was the second highest all time, peaked at 1.46 million, average 1.25 million, up 119% from 2023. Thank you for those numbers, Crystal. Jeffrey, I saw your comment about you might not be in the chat. That was the last comment I really saw from you, and I said Happy Easter. I want somebody to call Carter at some point. Alexis Morris, last time I seen her, she was on social media. I'm not sure what she's doing though.
She was supposed to be a Harlem Globetrotter, but I haven't seen her, advertised on any of the shows.
So we got a spicy, but it was a spicy draft, but it was uneventful, right?
Mm-hmm.
Spicy but uneventful. Looking forward to seeing where it goes from here. 186 in the chat, y'all. Run them likes up for us. If it's your first time here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Don't miss another drop. Yeah, gotta watch the NBA playing games tonight. I'll be watching those tonight too. Jeffrey, I didn't see that coming. Yeah, definitely watching those playing games. NBA playoff time. So definitely gonna be looking at some of those. Gonna try to bother MJ for some picks for these playing games. Don't filter it. It was boring. Players should play, man. There's too many feelings on sleeves. Man, play. Really boring draft. I only watch because our Gamecocks. She got cut from the Globetrotters.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
there's that. That's the answer then. But that's why we ain't seeing out there. Got cut from the Globetrotters according to Edward T. So we got our first WNBA game happening on May 2nd. Is that right? May 2nd? We definitely will be live for that. We got some coverage coming up in between now and then. We have some great conversations. Come and hang out with us on Thursday. We'll have a conversation about Angel Reese and the social media attacks on her, and just her branding. May 2nd, yeah, thank you.
It's right around the corner.
Making rosters. Yeah, it's right around the corner, y'all. It's right around the corner. So be on the lookout. Back later tonight with the CC show. We got Hot Takes Wednesday tomorrow with Rob the Man Media. Yeah, just be on the lookout, man. We got content coming. The girl Connecticut Sun picked in the second round is a good player from USC Trojans. Who did they get in the second round? Who was that? Rhea Marshall? I think that's Rhea Marshall. She's not bad.
Or did she go in the third round?
Yeah, nah. Yeah, that big that got dunked on. She didn't get drafted. Did not get drafted. Deja didn't get drafted. I think my biggest disappointment, though, still is Diamond Johnson not getting drafted. Yeah, preseason May 2nd, regular season May 17th. It's just around the corner, man. They don't got but about 2 weeks to get ready. Marshall was in the third round. Thank you, Jeremy. Keep me straight. The WNBA should heavily promote Aces versus Liberty on ring night. They probably won't, though. They probably won't. But I expect that they will do a whole lot of promotion and coverage around Indiana Fever games, especially in the first Indiana-Chicago game. So,
Rhea Marshall went 13th in the second round.
They saying Rhea went to the Sun at the 25th. Got dunked on, filled out the application for the WWE. FM, stop playing. Stop playing.
Yeah, she
Russell, only bring the facts to the chat. Appreciate you hanging out with us over there on the Instagram, talking with OC, Simply Ball, Dropping Cast, Podcast, Jazzy Bob, and Jackie Dub. Appreciate y'all coming through. I thought it was the second round. Sorry about that. No worries.
It's the bottom of the second round, but it was the 20. Was it 12 and 13? That's the 25th pick. 25th pick. But it's the bottom of the second round.
Yeah, the Sun got Rivers, Morrow, and Marshall. Do you expect them to do? How do y'all expect them to do? Rivers, I knew we was about to rap, but now I gotta ask. Rivers, Morrow, and Marshall as a core at the Sun with like Tina Charles. How y'all expect Connecticut to come out? And Rivers, Morrow, and Marshall should be able to get some playing time in Connecticut, right? Ain't nobody there, is it?
Yeah, I believe that Morrow wanted to go there to make sure she got playing time. And I'm sure Rivers is going to get playing time, and they're going to definitely need the rebounder. So I think they're going to do pretty good. I'm really surprised. I mean, I'm really expecting a lot out of the Mystics. A lot of people think because they're young, they not fly, but they got some good ballers.
The Mystics?
The Mystics. I expect them to do quite well.
Really?
Once they get adjusted.
Is that your sleeper team? Like,
That's
you think they make the playoffs next year?
I think the playoffs next year? I do, because they were barely out of a lot of games, and they should have made it the last season.
Okay, so LA is my sleeper team.
It would have been mine if they had Hambry. When I found out she wouldn't, I'm like, oh Lord. They need her leadership.
And then I'm gonna stay with that because I'm gonna stay with them because they get Hambry, but I mean Hambry won't be there. But you got Fagan, and then Cam. They said it'll be back mid June.
Oh wow, okay. Well, they had that defense together,
and then you got Fagan there, and you got Sarah Ashley Barker. Not giving the Fever any. I got it. I mean, but I'm excited about Harmony Turner being in Las Vegas. I'm excited about Harmony. I want to see her make a squad.
But do you think it's gonna be her or the other young lady, Anaya?
Aaliyah Nye is nice too. I ain't gonna hold you up. Aaliyah Nye is nice too. But let me ask y'all a question. As I'm sitting here, who in the hell did the Phoenix Mercury get? Did they get anybody? They said she was trolling about her pregnancy. Okay. Thank you for the update. So so Hamby gonna play. I still think Fagan get to play too. Tina's an excellent teacher. Tina's an excellent ambassador for this game.
Mm-hmm.
Rakia and Ray Buckets are gonna be hurting for LA to be good. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In none of the rounds, right? The Phoenix Mercury didn't get to pick anybody to put with what they have there. How did that happen? Anybody?
Probably trade.
Anybody tell me?
Probably where they trades was they probably traded away all their picks.
Does that help or hurt them?
Well, they say that they short on a bench, so I think it's gonna be a problem for them.
I mean, because you got Kai Copper over there, you got Kalani Brown over there, Natasha Mack, Sabali is over there, Celeste Taylor is there, Alyssa Thomas, West Beld is there. But it just seemed like it. And then I think they got maybe some international players. Okay, you think Phoenix rather the free agency than the draft pick? Okay, Mercury traded for the draft next season. Okay, yeah, because I kept saying I didn't hear the Phoenix Mercury name. I didn't hear them called at all.
Exactly.
Is that the only team that didn't pick? Is that the only team that didn't have a pick in any round? Was Phoenix?
It looked like. Looking at this draft board, let me see.
They already got the expendable squad. They don't need rookies. Don't do that, FM. Don't. They're not the expendables.
Yeah, I hope they don't start that trend like they talking about starting in college, especially among the men. I heard Rick Pitino say that he's not recruiting any high school players. He's getting.
Well, I mean, it's gonna be that. I mean, think about it. Like I think I was telling Rob on one of the lives. It was Coach Prime was the first one that I heard talk about that. He was like, I get about 2 freshmen, I get 3 or 4 players out the portal, and see what I got. Right? Like every year, you only gonna add so many freshmen, and everything else will come out of like the portal. So that's why we was talking about people being able to go to JUCO and then coming into the league out of JUCO. And saving some of that money. Rick Pitino, 102. Yeah, probably. 102, easy. Years old. FM on one today. Lil, what you got before we get ready to get out of here?
Well, I just can't wait for the season to start. I'm just, anxious to see what GMs are looking smart and which ones look like they were some total dummies. We're going to see because Kirk Miller, he seemed like he did a nice stack job. And, Chicago seemed kind of wishy-washy. Indiana looked solid. I mean, these are all people. And then I think Connecticut got a new GM. So
I expected Connecticut to go a lot more international. So it's going to be interesting.
I did too because of that coach. I thought that coach was going to snatch a few more.
And I thought Chicago was going to bring in some Nigerian players. I ain't gonna hold you up. I thought with the addition of that coach, I thought that they would add some Nigerian players.
Yeah, especially that international female coach that they got from that Olympic team. I thought they would have a little different pool of talent, but maybe they got some things in the kitty we don't know about. I do know that they not I don't know why they couldn't get the loan on that facility. I think that's gonna continue to plague them, but
yeah, they better get a facility soon because, like I said, right now they're gonna be practicing at the gym at the church. I don't know how that works.
Well, I hope
That's
they
even more.
practice at the facility, where they was going to build the facility. It's a beautiful facility right there. I don't know, it's a community facility, but it's state of the art. I don't know if they could carve them a little piece on the back end. They got numerous courts and, all that kind of setup. So they might be able to practice there closer to the arena, until they could. I just don't understand. You the owner and you a real estate mogul, a commercial real estate mogul. And you've been in business since what, 83? And you can't find
You do business.
You can't find
You do
a
business
loan?
all over the nation. You do business all over the nation. Not just real estate in Illinois. Not just real estate in Chicago. Everywhere. California, Florida. Seems like you're doing business everywhere.
But you can't get a loan.
Yeah, it's weird. That's definitely weird. So y'all say Jeff is the op. We gonna keep watching. We gonna keep watching, y'all. We are back on Thursday with an in-depth discussion on Angel Reese and the attacks that she faces and deals with continuously. Why the international players where they can make more money staying home. They stay home and make the money and come over here and get the championships and the notoriety. Indiana, New York, and Dallas are building facilities. Why can't Chicago? Chicago better get on the ball. That's for sure.
Yeah, they
Chicago
never
better get on the ball. Y'all make sure y'all drop a like. I need 10 people. 10 people share this video right now for me. 10 people share this video for me right now. We trying to get to 5,000. We on our push to 5,000, y'all. We about to crack 4,000 before the week is out. Let's get to 5,000 before the month is out, y'all. Help us grow this platform. We've been having some really great conversations. We got great co-hosts coming in, great support from the chat. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all to life. Y'all know what it is. Oh, wait. And before we sign off, y'all, we want to hear from y'all. Do y'all think the league evolving image is a strategic move or an inevitable change in the global sports market, y'all? I want to hear y'all thoughts. Let me know in the comments. Thank y'all all for tuning in today and being part of this critical conversation. Together, y'all, we can make a difference. We got an 11 o'clock show tonight, the CC show. We want to hear y'all thoughts on today's episode. Share your insights with us on social media. Make sure y'all following Cess Talk Sports on all platforms. Leave a comment, send us feedback. If you enjoyed today's discussion, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Share this episode with your friends, family, and community. Let's keep the conversation going on social media. Amplify the conversation, y'all, around equity, around leadership in sports, and let us know y'all takeaways. Remember, y'all, representation matters, y'all. Stay tuned for more Cess Talk Sports, Be Wise, PoliSports Tea Time episodes. Up next, y'all, we are going to continue with our Disrupting the Power Structure series, and will be the unyielding social media campaign against Angel Reese, a battle over race, politics, and power in women's sports. Sports are never just about the game, y'all. It's about the stories we tell, the change we create. Or before, got you. It's up to everyone within the sound of my voice to be a change agent. Until next time, y'all stay wise, stay engaged, stay tuned. Talk soon, y'all. We out.